And hello and good morning. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. I am David Boles. B-O-L-E-S dot T and a V. Video on demand is Boles.live. Now, I've discovered that some internet defending things, maybe that's what you want to call it, may block Boles.tv and Boles.live because they are not SSL secured. They forward to another domain. So if that ever happens to you, here's the solution. You just simply go right to our Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/BOLES TV. And the Boles.live goes to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Boles Blues. So if you ever have any trouble finding us, you know where to find me. Right here on Boles.tv. You can email me, David, at Boles.tv. So many things to share with you today. Our music again from Slipstream is not working. I have to now email them. I've waited 5 days thinking that it will get fixed, and they're not going to fix it if they don't know about it. So I have to make time today and say, look, when I go on to shuffle my playlist, it plays one song and stops. So we're back with Pretzel Rocks, which I don't mind actually, because if you type !song, S-O-N-G in chat, boom, here you go. Their API is open, and it tells you exactly what the song is. Sadie by Strello. And there's the link if you want to go listen to it online, if you're digging the sound. So while you're listening to this live stream and you hear the music, oh, what's that song? Type ! S-O-N-G, and boom, there you go. It's going to show you right where you're listening to and why. Well, it was a very interesting weekend. Everything looks very off to me here. I'm not sure what's going on with my chat and my main and my thing. Let me just see if this all makes sense. That looks better. I don't know what happened. I think it looks better. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, maybe a little bit too big. Go like this. Squish. Okay. I don't know if this is making any difference in what you're seeing at home. But for me, it's looking a little more photogenic, as they say. Hey, there's artist Dora. Yeah, so tell me if the music is too loud, Dora. Because this is Pretzel Rocks. Their chill station, which I really like. I completely accept it. And happy Valentine's Day. I'll show you a Valentine gift from a very special person named JMS SWEENIE, Jana Marie Sweeney, sweetheart. Many years ago, and I leave it on my desktop to remind me how much I was loved at one time in my life. This is a carved stone, painted red, and the carving appears to be white and maybe a little paint in there. Happy Valentine's Day to you too, Dora. So we're very happy to see this. I love it. It's a Valentine's Day. Oh wait, that's my St. Patrick's Day voice. I guess St. Valentine's doesn't have a voice. So we're wearing red, maybe a little bit of black, celebrating Nebraska, which we'll talk about in a moment. Show you very quickly our Valentine greeting from Lucky O'Connell. Lucky O'Connell is a David Boles blogs dog who writes about articles about dogs. Owned by the lovely and delicious Tom and Marianne O'Connell of California. And they write movie reviews for our Boles Blogs website, and every holiday, Lucky greets us with a lovely Valentine, which I completely accept. Now, since our friend Dora's here, I have loosened up our Boles bot, which is actually Streamlabs bot, but under the guise of the Boles bot. So, Dora, I'm going to ask you to help me just a little bit if you can. I would like you to type something that has a lot of caps in it. And we're going to see if you get banned or not banned. See if you get stripped or scolded by the bot. And then when you're done with that, then we'll do another test with you putting in lots of emojis. And we'll see if that triggers it. Because we're having fun in chat over the weekend with Jana Marie. And our bot's going crazy because it's very strict. So I decided I have to loosen it up. Because to get into chat now, it's harder. You have to have a verified email address and a verified phone number. And these bots, these spam bots, these hate raid bots, whatever they're called, they seem to be able to find a way to verify themselves for email. Look at that! Oh my God, it's gorgeous. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day, but cold. Touchdown, Fedora. That worked fabulously. But these bots, it appears, have an impossible time verifying their phone number because they don't have a phone. It did work, Dora. Yes, perfectly. I'm so happy. Now try the emojis and see if you can send bunch of them and see what happens. And if it deletes everything you've said so far, it doesn't matter because we just got started. And I don't know why it purges is what it's called. So I have to look at that too. Uh-oh. Darn, it didn't work. Let me see if I can fix this in real time. So let me go to my chat bot. I'm looking at a totally different screen, so forgive me if I'm not looking at you. I am looking at you. Okay, so mod tools, link protection, emote protection, preferences. I thought I fixed this. So let's go bigger. And let's go bigger. And we're going to save that setting. Let me see. I upped it and it wouldn't take it, which I find very interesting. I don't like that. Okay. Set the maximum percentage of emotes within a message. Okay, so I think that's better. And now I'm concerned about my caps protection. Let me see. Because caps protection worked, but I need to fix that a little more. We'll try to go up here too. Okay. Alright. Now I'm back. Okay. Dora, try to do it again. And I'm going to send caps on my other account, see what happens. Well, that's a moderator account. That's not going to... I'll try it. Did that work? Hello, I'm all caps. Okay, that did work. Artist Dora, it worked. That's very good. It's a relief. So so it's very interesting. There's a minimum. Thank you, Dora. I'm so appreciative that you're helping me with this. So I figured out there's a minimum amount of paragraph caps or emojis that will trigger the bot. And then there is a maximum number of emojis or caps or whatever that will trigger the bot. And then, this is what I missed, you have to set the percentage of the emotes being sent, or the caps being sent, and if there's too high a percentage of them in the message, then it still gets blocked anyway. So it's not just the minimum and the maximum you have to worry about, which I increased greatly. You also have to look at the slider for the percentage that you allow. But now it works. And I could just turn the whole thing off, but maybe I should. I don't know. Yeah, I tried to send emojis and it didn't work. Ah, that worked. So my 7 TV emotes do not work, but my Frankenfurst, whatever it's called, what's it called? Frankerface Z. Those emotes work. Very interesting. I know this is really compelling television, but sometimes you can't test things on your own. We need the help of a superstar at home like our friend Dora. Well, now Dora is free to share emotes. Talking all caps. You don't see the actual emojis in text. That's interesting. I wonder if it's because you don't have those installed when I send, because I can see them in my chat and in the live chat. I wonder if you have to have those somehow installed locally. Now, if I send, when I send no problems there. Because we have better TV emotes installed. We have 7 TV emotes installed. Now, let me see what happens when I click on that. Now, that's our local emote. Do you see that one, Dora? As an emote, or do you see it only as text? Not a problem. Perhaps translates for you as moderator. Yes, I see local. And here are some emotes from our friend Talk to Me Guzman, who has helped us get our closed captions working. And I'm just curious if other people can see these or if it's just me. Let's see if they show up. They show up here. I can see them in the live stream. I see them in regular chat. But can Dora see them? That's the question. That's very interesting. Okay. Well, that's very good. Well, at least we've sort of figured this out. Now we're going to talk a little bit about art and digital art and real art and expectations and paying for things and not paying for things. Let me see if I can find this. Okay, so something else I want to chat about. Oh, wait. So, and this is going to include our friend Dora again, so I'm glad she's here. So a while back, we discovered this artist who draws cats in watercolor. And we connected with her. We talked about her here on the stream, and she was going to do a commission for us for $35 of our cat Jack, who we love a lot. We're going to frame it and do this and meh. And then she had to delay a week, which sort of raised a flag for me, but okay. And then she said she'd finish it over the weekend, but we had to pay her first because this was a commission, which I think was an error. But I asked Jan, and she said, no, go ahead, see what happens. So we paid, and it looks like she finished this artwork in 5 minutes, and she's mailing it to us today. So I'm going to show you this artwork, and I'm telling you up front that I'm very disappointed. Waste of time, energy, and money. I'm sorry. This is my opinion, and this is the internet, and everybody has an opinion. This is what she drew for us for $35. It looks like it was done for $5. Remember we talked about her art, and she has critters in there, and crocodiles, and mice, and unlikely friends. And she said, do you want critters? I said, yes. I said, I'd like to have all of them. I said, but you're the artist, you decide. But we'd like at least one critter. So she sent me this morning, early this morning. She said, yeah, here's your artwork. I'll mail it to you today. And there are no critters. There's Jack's friend. It was a vase, I guess, and the cactus. I asked for vampire teeth, at least one tooth. She didn't do that either. She didn't finish the background, which she usually did. I've been watching all of her art all of this time, and the new stuff that she's been putting up when she was supposed to be working on this piece of artwork. And this is it.
All right, let's bring that beat back.
And I showed it to Jan, and she said, oh, it's not that bad. Now, in comparison, here is what our delicious friend Dora did, out of the kindness of her heart. She didn't ask to be paid. She didn't want money up front. She actually signed it like an artist should. And this captures the spirit and the essence of our friend Jack, who we've known all of our lives. And I have seen this other artist do things of cats that she just draws on her own. And they're full of life, they're interesting, they're funny. And this is what she does professionally for us, this. Now we're not getting our money back. I'm not going to say anything to her about it because what's the point? It's over, it's done. But I'm certainly not going to spend money on framing it, that's for sure. So to our beautiful friend Dora, who does things out of kindness and goodwill, we thank you so much, and you set a very high bar. Maybe that's the problem. If Dora hadn't done this, and we got this, maybe we'd be satisfied. But as Jan said, look, this is what she does. This is all, I mean, Jack was fluffy and huge, and this makes him look fat and frumpy. I see what you mean. Sorry I got disappointed. Thank you, Dora. I appreciate that you see my point, because someone else in this house doesn't get my point. No, Jan is very positive. She finds the goodness in everything. That's what's so great about her. I can find the darkness in the middle of the sun. So maybe if Dora hadn't set a high standard of expectation for what it should be, but this piece of art is soulless to me. And I've seen her draw cats who have curly hair and fuzzy hair and fluffy hair, so it's not like she does that hard outline for every cat she draws. She doesn't. I've seen it. She put 2 beavers online over the weekend, and they had curly hair. So she could do it if she wanted to, but she didn't want to, even though we were paying her, so whatever. So this is the spirit of Jack. So to my wonderful friend Dora, we say thank you so much over and over and over and over and over again. There's a lot of work in this and a lot of love. And we're very appreciative. Thank you so much. Now we're going to go into the more digital realm of all of this mess, which is called Ethereum and cryptocurrency. And this was a story that is even more shocking to me. And I'm not easily shocked. But this was a shock. Wow. This was a shock. This guy, CEO of Chain, just bought an alien punk. That blue-haired thing is an alien punk, an NFT that you purchase with Ethereum. That guy, you see on the right, purchased that thing, blue-haired thing on the left, for 8,000 Ethereum. $23 million. It just takes your breath away. 23 million dollars for that. For that. $23 million for that. So sometimes I just feel this NFT game is all a big joke. Oh, there's January Baby Girl. Thank you, Dora, for the picture of Jack. It looks just like him. I agree 100%. She captured the spirit and the soul of that crazy cat. Now, I could draw this, as could any 5-year-old, in about 5 minutes. But somehow, for some reason, these bored apes and these alien punks are bringing in millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Absolutely shocking to me. Just sold my alien punk for $23 million. What floors shall I sweep? And Ethereum is down today. We got an email from our friend Sabette. Oh, there's Dora. I also finished the painting of my friend's Yorkie, and she loved it. Oh, that's great. You should send us a picture of the final project. I know you sent us pictures of it in progress, but I didn't know if that was allowed for us to share, because it was a private moment. But you'll let us know. And I hope your friend paid you $23 million for that piece of real artwork. $23 million. Looking for some NFTs. Anything under 8,000 Ethereum. This is the highest CryptoPunk sale by nearly double. 23 million. Who would pay half of that for one of these? Oh, thank you, Dora. She will send for free for her. She's a good friend. That's wonderful. I just find the whole thing fascinating. $23 million. And this is the guy who bought it. He looks like a guy who would spend $23 million on a piece of computer art that a 5-year-old could draw. Boy, imagine all the homeless meals you could buy somebody for $23 million. You could feed a whole city for $23 million. But it's his money. And as I was saying, Ethereum is way down today. So our friend Sabat sent an email saying, hey, the floor has been swept. Come in and get your Tokyo Punk. Shock value, NFT. Either that or a meme for Netflix stock. Yeah, I guess these people have so much money they just don't know what to do with it. As somebody said, I'm sorry, 8,000 Ethereum for pixel art, and it doesn't even get you into a yacht party. But the floor is the average amount paid for a piece of art. So if an NFT artist has a low floor or a high floor, you can see how much their work is wanted. And Slet, who is our friend, is very successful, making a lot of money. Sent out an email this morning saying, this floor has been swept. Come in and get your Tokyo Punk now because the prices are very low because Ethereum tanked over the weekend. The gas didn't tank, which is the price you send and receive on the Ethereum network. That's always high. You buy something, you send something to somebody, it's going to cost you $100 in gas. And not gas, but Ethereum gas. That's why it's so funny. Say, oh, gas prices are so high. Oh, whoa. I'm not talking about gasoline for a car. I'm talking about Ethereum gas. That's just shocking. We're going to talk about this more in a moment. But as you can see, the buyer was Deepak.eth, ETH. And we're going to talk about that a little more in a moment. But right now, I'm going to take a little blood pressure break. I'll be back momentarily. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles TV, BOLES.TV. Checking our CPU, 40%. Frames per second, 60, very good. Lost frames, 607, which is only 0.4%. Still not great. But our Windows computer is coming. It should be here on Wednesday, but the monitor is delayed for 3 weeks. So you have the heart and soul of your new computer system here, but the face is gone and you can't use it without the face. Our upload stream is 6K, which is wonderful, considering everything. So we've been talking about NFT art and digital art and real art, and while we were away, Dora made some wonderful comments. I read all... I'm going to pin this so we can all read this together in case it's disappeared from your view. I read all about NFTs, the metaverse, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. I want to understand all this mumbo-jumbo. Me too. I feel exactly the same way. It's called, this new stuff, Web 3. We are finishing Web 2.0. This is the third iteration, which is known by these NFTs and this metaverse thing. Did you see the metaverse advertisement on the Super Bowl? The metaverse is people with no legs. And Jana was looking at it and she said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I said, "Yeah, that's the metaverse." And she was like, "That? Yeah, that." And then Dora went on to say, over the weekend, but still mind-boggling to me, it seems only the top 1% in tech-savvy can access and dabble in it. Not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. That is 100% million billion true. Oh, Dora says yes, Web 3.0. Yes, I did see Gwyneth's ad. Yeah, I'm going to play Gwyneth's ad in a moment. There's something severely wrong with her. And I say that merely observationally, not that I know her at all. But to sell a candle for, what was it, $75? That smells like a vagina. And people bought it as, I think they bought pet rocks. They thought it was a great big fat joke. And she took it the other way, that she was very successful. And then remember, before that, she was selling some kind of magical stone, I believe, that you inserted into your vagina and would, wear it during the day and it would stimulate you. I mean, there's another name for that, but I guess this is her take on a Benoit ball. I don't know. So her goop thing is all about shock value. Turned on the TV just while she was taking a bite. And I love how they strategically had her finger over the part where it actually spelled out vagina. Smells like my VA drink. Oh, it was a bite. And then she says something like, "Tastes familiar." Dumb. We're going to see it. We'll see what she says. But, the whole commercial is so stupid. We'll talk about that in a minute. But figuring out this Web 3.0 thing is very important because this is where we're going next, and people are getting left behind because it is very technical. If you want to, let's say, get into... See, Bitcoin is hard for people to get into now. Now, 5 years ago, you could buy one Bitcoin for $1,000. And one Bitcoin today is now worth, a little while ago, $40,000. So it's massive. That's why the IRS is interested, the FTC is interested, mobsters are interested, because it's a great way to hide your money and to grow your money. So the reason that Ethereum is the default NFT, digital art payment, is because it's slightly more affordable. Now, Ethereum 5 years ago was probably 10 cents. I remember I bought a few just to see if we could do it, to practice. And it worked. And now one Ethereum is worth generally $3,000. So if you're going to buy a piece of artwork for one of something, one Bitcoin, or one Ethereum, that's the difference between you having to pay $40,000 or you having to pay $3,000. So it's all about how much money you have, and you have to use real money from your bank or sometimes a credit card to fund your Ethereum wallet. And your Ethereum wallet is like a series of numbers and letters that are 14 digits long. So it's like an impossible to remember password. But it's not a password because it's not a secret. Your wallet is an open thing because you need to use it for people to send you money and for you to receive money. But going back, as I was on break, I just noticed this, which is really, really very interesting. This question that's posed in the middle of this conversation about spending 8,000 Ethereum on a ridiculous alien punk. So this guy says username.eth, which I have changed my username to Boles.eth, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. Asks a very interesting question. An alien punk, that's what that thing is, sold for 8,000 Ethereum today, which nearly broke Twitter. Everyone's talking about it. That's what it means. And mentions a user and gang are looking to extract a minimum of 21,700 Ethereum from the ecosystem in a couple of days. We should be asking why. Now, isn't that so? Let's click on this and see what the chat people say about that reasoning. Here are the tweets. They've since been deleted. 888 orbs available by burning 3 Inner Circle Genesis pieces. Now, what does burning mean? Burning means, let's say you make 10 NFT pieces of art, and they're not selling. You sold 3 of them. So you have 7 that are unsold, which hurts the price because they're not unique. They've lost their value. So what you do as the creator is you take those 7 that didn't sell and you burn them, which means you remove them, you kill them. So instead of being 1 of 10, you lower the availability to what was already sold, 1 of 3. So you have 3 that have sold, done, you burn the remaining 7, and the people who own the 3 instantly have a greater value on their hands because it's a more unique piece. 225 orbs available to mint in a Dutch auction setting starting at 11.11, decreasing to 8.8. Create demand. Exactly. In the secondary market, that's where they're creating the demand. And every time, as I understand it, one of these, because there are people who just buy this NFT art and then they double the price and turn around and sell it again. That's called the secondary market. But as I understand it, every time one of these NFT pieces sells, the original artist gets 7%. So it becomes an annuity that just keeps giving and giving and giving. And some people don't ever want to sell their art. Some people want to flip it as fast as they can to make a fast dollar. So retweet and tag 3 friends to win 3,333. The orbs. I guess that's the artwork. Okay, so that's the first message. Then another one. The lowest price will be 8.8 Ethereum. Now, okay, Ethereum is $3,000. So 8 times 3 is $24,000. Almost 9. 9 is $27,000 for one of those ridiculous pieces of art. This is an incredible piece, one of one, generative art that has never been created before, with in-game play to earn extra gala games. A good thread here on some of the Ethereum flags. Did some research on the orbs drop of Crypto 88. In short, they are selling generative art and music NFTs that are constantly evolving. That's cool, but not new. Here's what's not cool. They're asking $62 million USD for this, and you don't get a license to use it commercially. Here's another one about 2 previous projects. Excuse me. A project full of red flags. How dare you ask why? Don't you know that's a forbidden question? Do you want to risk getting muted or banned? You got muted for asking the team while they're going to do with 7,800 Ethereum, roughly $24 million if they don't sell. What are you going to do with it? You received a timeout. This is a Discord server. 888 is creating the world's largest brand. Correct. That's called the Inner 8. It's the same with both NFT projects. Money gets invested back into the community. These are very interesting questions. Here we're just complaining about 0.1 Ethereum mints, which is about $500. Which is sort of the price point that people tend to think is acceptable for a minimum floor. I thought some more about that issue. Well, that's a very complicated conversation, but here's something that's a little clearer. If we go to Coinbase, which is a major reseller, crypto place, very popular. They had some, I think, security issues several years ago, but they've cleaned them up and fixed them, and everybody that I know who's starting out uses Coinbase. At Coinbase.com. So here's the price of Ethereum. It's up 63% over the year. Over a day, it's up 70.74. The last hour, it's up 40.42. So that's good. But here's the price change that's very interesting. It's been going down. The last hour, it's gone up a little bit because people are buying because it's low. The price change 24 hours ago was down 2%, which is quite a lot. 7 days ago, it was down 6%. So when Sabet talks about the floor is being swept, that means value is being wiped out, which makes it a buyer's market. So there you go. So if you sign up for a Coinbase account, which is very easy to use, I recommend Coinbase if you're just starting out because it's very safe. There are a lot of protections. They also have a Coinbase wallet that you can use on your phone that connects to your Coinbase account. And you add to your Coinbase wallet by having your Coinbase online account do the processing of the money. So here's my profile. And as you can see, I have a couple of new things since we were here on Friday. Lots of things change. Having lots of fun with Web 3.0. Or Web 3, as they say. Let me turn myself off because I'm annoying. So this is some artwork from my new online friend, Ian Jones. And if we click on my avatar, which is an NFT, you can see it's called NeoGast. It's one of one from the Ian Jones Expressionism Dark Matter collection. And you can click on it to get all the details of where it's from, who owns it, the history of it. It's really quite lovely. I love the provenance that the Ethereum blockchain provides for artwork. And as you can see, my username has been changed, modified by me, from my name, which is my @Twitter anyway, to Boles.eth, Boles.ethereum. Now, why you do that? Well, in this previous conversation we saw... Oh, not that one. Hello, Dora. In the previous conversation we saw, talking about the cyberpunk, punk. You can see all of these usernames. Otenberg, ETH, Morgan, ETH. What does that do? Who are you? Why are you doing this to us? Well, what that does is, and it's complicated to get set up. I worked on it all weekend. And this background also is from my lovely friend Ian Jones. I love his masks, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So having a username like Boles.eth gives you a shortcut when you're paying somebody or someone is paying you on the Ethereum blockchain. And you can get a .eth name very easily, and I'll talk about this a little more in detail tomorrow. But it's like $5 a year. And you have to pay the gas to register. But it allows people who know what they're doing to pay you just by typing in your name. Boles.eth. Boom. So you don't have to worry about sharing an enormously long 14-character alphanumeric wallet address. Oh, here I'm talking to myself again. It's a shortcut for people who know what they're doing. They see that name, say, oh, he can send and receive from that Ethereum account that I know he has associated with his Ethereum wallet. So that's what that does. So this is sort of, and some people say, oh, these .eth domains are ridiculous because they don't actually create a domain, which is true right now. All it is really is a registration association between your wallet and that name. Now, on OpenSea, you can go in. We should probably go there. Now, this is going to be my account, I think, because that's the default. But we'll see what pops up, if anything pops up. Okay, so this is my OpenSea page. And we'll just go to the main site. Okay, so this is the main webpage of OpenSea. Notable drops. Top collectors, CryptoPunks, blah, blah, blah. And you can see who's up, who's down. CryptoPunks are up 64%. Their floor is $17,000. Bored Ape Yacht Club is down 50%. Their floor is now $7,000. So if you have $7,000, you go buy Bored Ape Yacht Club. So I'm trying to see, where is the... Okay, here we go. So here, domain names. Now, you can go and just get your own .eth domain name by going to the right website and registering there. Or you can look for one here, and they have a whole bunch of domain names that you can auction on or just buy outright. But I prefer to pick my own name. I mean, I could kind of, for people who don't know how to do it, you can just go here and buy one. .crypto, same as ETH. NFT, Boles.nft, Boles.crypto. So the price for Kilbansky at .crypto is $3,000. $9,000. So here we are, back to mine account. So, Boles TV is my username. Oh, look at that. Now that's new. That was not there yesterday. Boles.eth. That is now associated, wow, with my wallet. That is my wallet, part of my wallet ID. So a person can click on either one of those to send me money or artwork or whatever. Or I can send using that as well. There's my... So this is my collection of things that are in my account. This is my unknown ENS name, which they know it is, but there is a very specific problem, it appears, between OpenSea and ENS. ENS is the registry place where you go to register your .eth name. I guess OpenSea doesn't like having .eth on their website and their collection, so in some cases, and I think like back in October, November, they were just deleting it, saying not an appropriate content for this place. That's not very nice to do. And you can see some of the lovely Ian Jones artwork that is now in my account. Love that. It's psychedelic, it's different. There's another one that's now my default avatar because it looks really good in black. Here's my Sabbat. Very lovely. And my early Sabbat stuff. This is some of the first things that he ever created. Oh, now it's all locked up. Oh, it's all locked up. There's another Ian Jones. See if we can get a Sabbat to load. It's not loading. Maybe it is. It's a very big file. So these are early sketchbooks from Sabbat from years ago, and he, digitalized them, took a picture of it, whatever. And I like this because it shows the early, crazy creative mind of Sabbat. So what you see here, you see in all of the future iterations that he has created since then. With the beautiful woman, the big lips, the eyes, the porcelain skin, the things written layered on top of each other. It's very noisy, and it takes a lot of time to try to figure out. That one was with mainly black ink as the final layer. And this one has sort of the same thing. It's a 2-page notebook, but this one has white ink as the final layer, which gives you a totally different vibe and feel of what's going on. And it's really very lovely. And these are huge files. That's why it's taking so long to download. But it's worth it if you want to take a look at it. And you can visit my OpenSea account and go and look at my collections. Everything's open. That's the way these NFT artworks things work. I feel like the music is slowing down as this is loading, which I know is not true, but that's just the way it goes. So I published this online last year. Oh, it's just taking forever to load. And I like this because I can use this as background banners on some of my other websites. So for me, these NFTs are about, I like landscapes that I can use like this, that are great for a banner background, and I like faces, IDs, that you can use as a profile pic. Because I don't know how else you would really display your artwork that you're collecting other than those two ways. Unless people are just going to go visit your OpenSea page and look at your artwork in your collection. I don't know. So these final faces are drawn over all of this interesting watercolor in this, I guess, white pen or white paint. So that is the extent of my Sabbat collection. Now, the one thing that I've decided now is that if you're going to be collecting anything, you want to collect something that has value instantly. And I believe the way to have instant value in buying NFT art is this, where it says 1 of 1. So Silky Pain, 1 of 1. Neogast, 1 of 1. Now, if you look down here at the bottom, Ian Jones, Scout Crow, this is 5 of 5, which is fine, but not as rare. This is a 1 of 1. There is only one, and now other people can, excuse me, steal this image and download it and use it as their avatar. But if you want the provenance of this piece of art, and you go look at it, you will see there is one and only one owner, and that is yours truly. This is another 1 of 1. People can steal it, use it, abuse it, fine. But if you go and click on the artwork on OpenSea, you'll see there is only one owner, me. Now this piece of art, which is the very first acquisition I was able to get my hands on, Sabbat, I believe this is 1 of 30. So there are 30 other people out there in the world somewhere who can take this NFT from their wallet and add it to their Twitter profile and click on it, and they will see they are a verified owner. There are 30 of us who are verified owners of this kind of artwork, which is fine. And you can see, from a popularity point of view, there are 134 people who love this Sabbat piece. And there are 3 people who love this piece. But to me, that's because people don't know. They don't know what they're looking at. Not that I know what I'm doing or what I'm looking at, but I at least now have a philosophy of collecting that makes a little bit more sense to me. So we're going to take our second blood pressure break, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about more of this and Ian Jones. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. B-O-L-E-S .television.tv. Boles.live is our YouTube page where you can get all of our video on demand. And after break, Dora said, hope it brings you lots of prosperity and growth to your brand. It'll be interesting to see what .eth does. Because there are people now online, especially on Twitter, saying, oh, that was 6 months ago. That's nothing. That's ridiculous now. And you can associate a domain name with your .eth address. So it can, you can, because right now if you type boles.eth, nothing happens. It's not a domain name. It's a registration association. But you can associate a domain name with your .eth address. So I'm working on that to see if I can make that happen, because that's very interesting too. Because then you can say to people, hey, you know, if you don't know anything, just go to this website and it will redirect you to how you can pay me. So we're trying to get ready for Web 3.0, Dora, yes, and stuff like this makes me wish I was young again. I love learning new things. Yes. And that's one thing you notice when you go onto these Discord servers, which most of these digital art places have a Discord server, and you get there and you can tell everybody there is 12 years old. And they're all dealing in artwork, and they're all complaining about the gas fees you have to pay for Ethereum. And there are 100 different crypto coins, and which one will hit and which one won't, you don't know. So you try to get in early. Love the emotes. Go on. So you try to get in early, like with a Dogecoin or Litecoin, I think was big for a while. And they were 10 cents, so you buy 1,000 and you hold it for 5 years and see what happens. And Mark Cuban, I think, has gone big on Dogecoin, which is kind of funny. And the inventor of Dogecoin doesn't even hold any Dogecoin because he sold it all because it was a big flop. And now it's exploding and he doesn't have any left, which is kind of funny and strangely ironic. So we talked about owning one of ones when it comes to NFT, and they're really very expensive. Usually, unless you can find someone sort of new and starting out and you can, you know, get in on a lower floor and either sell or hold. Like right now, Sabet, if you want a one of one from Sabet, it's going to cost you, I think, $50,000. Now that makes me want to go figure out what it is. Let's go see if we can find Sabet's floor. So Sabet's floor price is very fair, 0.28. Which is probably $700. He has 1,100 owners of his artwork. He has 178 items for sale. So let me see if I can figure out where his... Let's see if we can price high to low. Just so we can get a flavor for what's going on here. I wonder where his collections are. That's what I really want to see. Let's like this one. Okay, we'll look at this from 2018 Sabet. I don't... Let's see. Is this a one of one? I don't know. 1,000,000.6. And it's already owned by somebody. Now, a lot of these people buy a one-on-one, you know, for a reasonable price, and then they put like $10 million on it, meaning that they're never going to sell it. So you really can't go by this. But this is the reality of it. So it looks like a one-on-one. Minted a year ago, and it was just transferred. So when you see minted, that means created by Sabet. Transferred to this person for nothing. When you see it says transfer, no money exchanged hands. So this was a gift. And Candy 555 put a price on it of 1.6 mil, which is sort of funny. But I want to see if I can find his collection. But the one-of-ones are very hard to find, especially with Sabet. Now, what's interesting is Sabet has this new healing energy drop that's coming out. And it was originally, there's supposed to be interesting images that you think on that heal you from the inside. Okay. Healing energy, I think is what it's called. And his original mint was, I think, 5,000. Which, so you could be one of 5,000 owning it, and it's probably going to cost you, $700, let's say. So that's a lot of money for him, not a lot of exclusivity for you. And then after he announced that, he said, oh, by the way, these healing things I think is going to be very big, so I'm upping the mint from 5,000 to, I believe he said, 8,500. So you're getting all ready to spend your money thinking you're one of 5,000, which is terrible, and now you're going to be one of 8,500. Which is even more terrible. So here's Healing Frequency in Motion 2021. Savat. That is actually being sold in one day for $29,000. Dora asked, do you think these prices are sustainable in the long run? How long will the government close their eyes? If the art is used for money laundering, not to say everyone is money laundering. Yeah, I don't. It's interesting because if you buy and sell on the blockchain, it is verifiable. You can't hide what you're doing. And if you purchase from a well-known, reputable exchange like Coinbase or some of the others, they will send you a tax document at the end of the year saying you sold, you bought. Here's what we're reporting to the IRS, and you figure out your taxes. But in the case of like a Justin Bieber, where he buys a Bored Ape for 500 Ethereum, and it was only selling for 100 Ethereum, and he didn't actually own the wallet that purchased it for 1.3 million, and it was just transferred to him, that's where it gets really sticky. Because the tax document for that 1.3 million is not going to go to Justin Bieber. It's going to go to the person who actually got it for him. And is that payment? Is that satisfaction of some sort? I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. So now this takes me to my new friend, Ian Jones. Art of Ian Jones. I believe he's in the UK. And he seems, as we'll see, to focus mainly on these very interesting, what I call tribal masks. And as I said to him, oh, and he's verified now. Oh, that's fabulous. I don't think he was verified before. Maybe it was a different account of his that wasn't verified, but he deserves to be verified. And he takes these ancient whispers of these ancient tribal masks and updates them to a modern cry, is what I call. So it's a blending of the past with the now. And it's very difficult to do, and a lot of people try to do this kind of art, I've discovered, on OpenSea, and sell it for a lot of money. And Ian does it better. He has a better aesthetic. And his prices are really super fair. So if you're looking to get into NFT and you're looking to get one of ones, Ian Jones is the place to stop. To stop and to start. Because I believe his art will go up in value. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking for, to me, as a collector, you're looking for a one of one at a low floor that you can afford to get into. Oh, I'm not showing you his page. I'm so sorry. We missed all the Sabat stuff too. Sorry about that. So this is the Ian Jones page. verified. That's his wallet. We can send and receive stuff from him. And these are some of his pieces of art. So let's look at this one, Mephisto. I have a couple of favorites that I'll show you. Mephisto is a 1 of 1. You like that a lot. Okay. And to me, I'm still trying to get more information out of him. Not out of him, but shared with me. That this is a painting. You can see the texture of the canvas. So this isn't, really digital art. This is an actual live painting that he did and then, digitized it. So I love the texture. It's really fantastic. So this is selling 1 of 1 for $588. 0.2 Ethereum. And believe me, that's a good price. Because Ethereum is down today. And if you don't like that, you can make an offer. Now, a lot of people who are probably 11 years old make, low ball offers. But if you're serious and you want to lower the price a little bit, then there you go. You can see if it'll be accepted or not. And he does very interesting different kinds of skulls. I love his black and white sketches too. And they're very cheap. And not cheap in quality, but cheap in if you're looking to get in and you don't know what you want to buy. And you're a little scared because this is all new to you and you don't want to lose all your money. Well, this is a very beautiful drawing, black and white, selling for 0.05 Ethereum, $147. Believe me, that's a great price in the NFT world. And in my opinion, these masks make really terrific profile avatars. If that's where you want to show it off and click on it and put it on Twitter, this is kind of what you need to look for. Here's another mask. I love this one. Very interesting. Love the colors. It's great use of color. And they're all slightly haunting and horrible. There's the one we own. 1 of 1. Thank you very much. There's the other one we own. It's on his page because it's part of his portfolio. 1 of 1. So people can click on it and see, oh, who owns that? This is Gloom, 1 of 1. Wow, love that too. Some of these I haven't seen before. I get the feeling he's adding new things. I should favorite that one. I like that a lot. Ooh, this looks new to me too. Space Traveler. Skulls are big in the NFT world, I've discovered. And that's okay. I like the skulls. I love the pumpkin face too. 1 of 1. So you can see there's definitely a style intention here. These, I believe, are part of his Neon Skull collection. Which again, I love. I love the little crown. I love the haunting. I think they're very charming. But Ian says he has some new work that's coming out soon. And he was going to let me in on it. And I accept. There's one Ian gifted me. Very interesting. That's on my Instagram page now as my profile pic. This Strato. This reminds me of a radio person talking to a radio. I have no idea if that's what it means, but that's what it looks like to me. And I'm standing by my interpretation. And now we get into a little bit more expensive work. As you go farther down the page, I love this blue and purple. It's just very exciting to me. It looks like a catcher's mitt. My interpretation only, not reality. I love this one. Very affordable, 0.02. That would make a great profile pic. I love the colors. As you can see, if they're red with a heart, I've already favorited them. So they appear in my account as my favorites. And you do that so you can say, oh, I saw that. Now, where is it? Oh, I'll go to my favorites and see if I favorited it. Oh, I did. Love the dark colors, too. It's very contextual. Super delightful. This one is also one of my favorites. It's so simple. So beautiful. I love the white background. I believe this is just Devil. 3 of 3. So it's still, I mean, it's not 1 of 1, but 3 of 3 is better than 1 of 8,500 like some at. Well, let me see if I can find my all-time favorite, which I believe is not a 3 of 3, and is certainly out of my price range. It's King Crimson, I believe is what it's called. Oh, there he is. Yes, the 2 of my favorites are right here. And the price is really not bad. So Dora says, avatars are popular because they can be used in Web 3.0. I read it somewhere. My son will disown me. They are excellent. You know how much I love color. Yes, I love color too. Why is King Crimson not loading? Oh, there's Jana Marie. This is King Crimson from Ian Jones. This, I think, is my all-time favorite. It's 3 of 3, not 1 of 1, but it's not 1 of 8,500 either, like Sabat. It just has a quiet stealthiness and stoicness that I really find fascinating. It was that one that led me to Ian, and I love this one too. This is one of his neon skulls. Wow. And they're all different, and they all have energy and power and meaning. Just completely, absolutely delightful. And Ian doesn't have a lot of stuff online, but a lot of his stuff is 1 of 1, which really, if you're trying to collect, is really super great. Like this one is a 1 of 1. Now that would make a great avatar on Twitter. Here's one of his more expensive pieces at .25. The more complex they are, the heavier detail they have, they tend to be more expensive. So that's the 2 of our friend Ian Jones's OpenSea page. Now, if you want to get funky, here you go. Art of Ian Jones on Instagram. You can follow him there. We do follow him there. And here he posts pictures of process, works of art. Now, this one does not appear on his OpenSea page that I could see. And it's a strange king octopus, which I super love too. So I don't know. This one with all the eyes and the cheeks, I love that. Absolutely delicious. So if you want to get a look into how he creates and who he is and where he's coming from, you can go find. Oh, I like that one too with the pipe. Go find Ian Jones. Art of Ian Jones on Instagram. Whew. I feel like I've been talking for an hour and a half, and you know what? I have been. Now we're going to take a very brief commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Super Bowl. Some of the ads, some of the performances. Back in a moment. We are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. Live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Jana Marie Sweetheart here on the weekends, 11 a.m. Talking about growing up deaf, disability, ability, hardcore sign language, a lot of fun stuff. Had a great time over the weekend. Boy, what a wild ride that was. Now, Dora, over the break, said, "Hi, Jana. Hope you're staying nice and warm. I can't believe how cold it is today." And I'm reading that because Jana Marie relies on closed captions to watch this. And we have discovered, unfortunately, that she cannot, as I understand it, read the chat and watch the closed captions. It's one or the other. So, by me reading Dora's message to her, which I will do all day, every day, Jana Marie might be able to respond if she is around. But we never know because she's very busy, and she is currently at an undisclosed location somewhere in the city of New York. Oh, there she is! Actually, it's so cold in our building. Uh-oh. Yeah, when I woke up today, 4:30, it was 17 degrees. And on Saturday, it was 58 degrees where we are. I had the windows open. Weather is very bizarre. At least it didn't snow. So I hope that Jana Marie is not too cold, because that's not a good thing. Waiting for the workers to come and fix the heat. Oh no! You have a very light t-shirt on today. But you look very festive for Valentine's Day, so you're very cute. But I hope you're not freezing. I know you are freezing. So the great thing, just to finish this up, about our wonderful friend, new friend, Ian Jones, is his prices are fair, he's a great artist, and he believes in the idea of one of one, which I think is fantastic. Because most artists want to say, look, I want to sell... Oh, you have your coat on. Well, you do have a good, thick, heavy coat that is red, so it is part of the celebration day. And the wonderful balloons you see are from Jana Marie. Heart-shaped balloons, but they are not Valentine's Day balloons. They are birthday balloons. But they have survived 3 weeks without moving. And we'll see how long they last before they hit the floor like Ethereum did over the weekend. Is Ian Jones believes in one and one too. And he fairly prices them, and he doesn't like the idea of sending 10,000 things for $300. He would rather send one thing for $500 and just keep creating art. And that's very smart, because that's a long-run way to think about your artwork. People who are in it to make a fast buck, I want 10,000, charge $100, done. There's not much exclusivity in that. So we had a Super Bowl over the weekend. It was a good game. I was rooting for Cincinnati just because Zach Taylor is their coach, and he used to play quarterback for the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And there was this big rigmarole made over these two deaf rappers that you see on the left and right. Dr. Dre is in the middle. And the NFL promoted it. Oh, we're about inclusion, we're about equality, we're about all these great things. Okay, sure. Now, this is on the deaf channel on Vimeo. So my feeling is this video from the Super Bowl is not going to be able to stay online because the NFL is going to have it taken down. But what you're going to see here is what we did not see. We watched the Super Bowl. We were watching for these deaf performers at halftime, and we did not see them. Well, Dory, you're not the only one who missed the deaf rappers, because they weren't there. It appears they were there on the webcast version of the Super Bowl that you could choose to watch. But they were not on television, which is outrageous. They could have put them in a little box and let the whole thing play. It would have been fine. So I'll show you a little bit of this, but I don't want any sound because sound will get me in trouble because I'm not allowed to have sound. So we'll play this just so you can kind of, where's the sound? I can't have sound. Why am I not seeing any sound control? Oh, there's the sound. There we go, I think. Okay, turn it all the way off. Okay, now we'll try this. Okay, so this is how they set it up. For the performers on the right and the deaf rappers on the left. Now that's Snoop Dogg on the right. Jana loves the way he dances. Oh, there's baby Jana. I saw some of this morning with David. They were great. Now, here are the issues that I have with the performance as a hearing person who doesn't know anything about this. As Jana did say, and I agree with her, that these deaf rappers are performing, they are not interpreting. So that makes you wonder, what role are they really playing? Are they there to interpret what Snoop Dogg is singing, or are they there to do their own thing? Because they're not really in sync with the performance. They're doing their own energy and their own thing. And, I don't know what this is. There are other hand gestures that don't really make sense in a pure ASL way. Another major issue is the big thing about rap music, as I understand it, and I'm not a big fan, I'm not really involved in the culture, is the rhyme scheme. And that's why people loved Eminem so much when he first started, Marshall Mathers, because he rhymed like a maniac. Beautiful rhyme scheme. And that's why he made it so big, because he was the white rapper. And he made it on his talent, in that he could rhyme anything, anywhere, anytime, and make it interesting. Well, in ASL, there's no such thing as a rhyme or a rhyme scheme, because it's English and it's based on an ear sound. So if they're not rhyming the words, now I think there is a way that you could rhyme sign language with a song, but that's not the point of this performance. And sometimes the singers are just making guttural sounds or and how is that being interpreted? But is it being interpreted, or are they just singing along with the song? Which is what it looks like to me. They're not really interpreting the song. They are singing along with the song in their own way that doesn't necessarily translate word for word to the performance. And the most disappointing part to me is the really great, to me, rapper who had the right vibe is this guy. Now, he is dark-skinned, and it's a little bit hard to see his facial expression. And this leads to one of the Super Bowl commercials that we saw that I'm going to share with you next about skin color. And the setup for this is just awful. He has a dark background behind him. He has lights on either side of his head, which makes his skin color darker than it normally appears, probably in real life, because it's a camera. So you have light behind him, you have light here, making his facial expressions hard to see. Jana Marie says, right, I agree. With sign language, they have to look the same, where hearing, they hear the same sounds. Right. So that is, I think, a difficult thing where you cannot see the performer's face. Now, how do you give him more light? Do you get a different camera? Because he has some light on him because he's wearing a khaki top, which is actually the right thing to do when you have, and this is cultural, when you have dark hands as an interpreter, you want to wear a light top and have a light background because your hands are a darker color. White interpreters wear dark tops and have dark backgrounds because you want to see their hands. Okay, so we watched some of this split screen on the web. None of this was seen on the broadcast. None of it. So that takes me to this next Super Bowl ad that people are talking about, who is hosted by Lizzo, who is a larger black woman who is vegan and who is very proud of her body. And here's what it's closed caption. So this talks about dark complected people having trouble being seen on a camera, which we just saw. You could not see the deaf, I don't want to say interpreter, the deaf performer, because the light behind him, you couldn't see his facial expression. So we needed some of this technology in that Super Bowl presentation because you could not see the rappers. You could maybe see the white deaf rapper better than the black guy. Well, that isn't very nice. And then they perform together, and the white guy's skin is so bright that he affects the way that the black person looks. And when I was teaching at the College of New Rochelle 15 years ago, they were just starting to get into web broadcasting and teaching. And they were doing a test in a class. It was actually like a faculty meeting talking about this new technology. I'll play this again. And I was sitting here, and right next to me was sitting one of the deans of the school. And this was very early web technology, a very crummy camera, and the lights in the room were fluorescent and no additional light. And they were web broadcasting it. So I'm sitting there like this, with my blazing white skin that you can see. And I'm sitting next to this dean who is a black woman who is very, very dark-skinned. And my face in the camera is burning, right? Can't see any definition because it's just white. And her face is basically a black circle because her face is so dark. And us sitting next to each other made it even worse because you had one extreme of darkness and one extreme of whiteness, and the camera couldn't handle the definition. So you can see 16 years later, now with the Google Pixel 6, they've solved this problem. But do you see a lot of white people and black people together in this? Because that's what the issue is, really. And so people said, oh, look at the dean, we can't see her. And oh, why is Professor Boles' face, blurring and burning? And I kind of tried to explain it to them. Technically, it's not us. It's the camera and the power of the technology. And, they were not necessarily saying this is a racial issue, but I'm saying it's not a racial issue. It's a camera technology issue that Google has figured out how to fix in their Google Pixel 6. But the Super Bowl, NBC couldn't figure it out with their deaf rappers. Ebony and Ivory singing together. Didn't work. Yeah, I want to see this Google technology with the dean from the College of New Rochelle and me standing next to each other and see how it handles a super lily white face with a darker black face. Oh my goodness. Now this is the Uber Eats commercial that I loathe on so many levels that I can't even begin to express myself. And some people like this, some people that it's funny. I just think it's ridiculous and dangerous that you're showing celebrity people who are, in the context of this commercial, so stupid that they eat things that are not food. And this is where Gwyneth Paltrow eats her own vagina candle. Except they cover up with her thumb the word vagina, so you can't, it's vag. Va. Smells like Va, Virginia. Ugh. And eating soap, and is that funny? Really, you have kids watching this, and I'm not playing the sound because I can't play the sound. But at least it's closed caption. So all these ridiculous celebrities eating inanimate objects because they were delivered by Uber Eats, I just think it's ridiculously idiotic. Why? The guy eating cat litter, they're eating soap. There she is, eating her own vagina. Ugh. I guess if you're 5 years old, 10 years old, you think this is funny, eating deodorant. But if you're 3 years old and watching the Super Bowl, and oh, look, they're eating deodorant. I'm going to go to the bathroom on the next break and eat mommy's deodorant. I guess I'm just old. I don't know. And speaking of fun, sometimes you're on the web and you find things that you just don't expect to be there. This is my friend from Nebraska, Jim Hanna. He's an actor, 2 or 3 years younger than I am. He did a couple of my plays back in Nebraska. Weeping Water Cafe is one of them, with Devin Schumacher. And Jim has been in California 30 years. And he has that Midwestern, big, fat, round Nebraska face that people in California love. They want the stereotype, and Jim will give him the stereotype. And he is also very smart, pinches every penny he ever earned, never spends one dime on anything. Proudly. And he works as a substitute teacher in the California school systems, the Los Angeles school system, and makes a lot of money doing that on days he's not making a commercial or in a movie or doing a stage show. And he's a substitute teacher, and he substitutes for history. So he goes into a class, talks about history, and they have such a system in Los Angeles where they're so desperate for teachers that if you substitute for a certain amount of days, you're considered part of the system. And you're in the retirement system, and you get paid a dividend. It's genius. And the first job that Jim had was in an agent's office. And he would watch the fax machine back then, 30 years ago, and he would get the first notification for any auditions. It would come out of the fax machine, he would tear it off the fax, read it, and then hand it to the next person. So he got a foot up, a leg up, an ear in, a hand on, all the early casting calls for whatever was going on, and he got into a lot of commercials because he was the first one there and knew what he was doing. So here he is doing, of course, a Bitcoin commercial pretending to be Thomas Edison. And I can't play the sound, but you can at least see Big Jim. Edison's lab, which is in New Jersey, by the way. There's that big Nebraska face right there. Oh, he loves it. He hates his Nebraska face, but it makes him a lot of money. He doesn't hate his face. But he does talk about it, though. And it's a 20-second commercial on the Twitter. And I'm just reading about it, Ethereum, and I was like, wait a minute. That's Jim. And by golly, it was Jim. It is Jim. He's very frustrated as Thomas Edison. And I know Jim. I know exactly what he's thinking and what he's saying as an actor, how he's getting there. I know it bothers him that his hair is not perfectly combed in this. But it's okay, because that's the profile that he got hired for. It's Jim Hanna on Boles.live.tv. And speaking of Nebraska, we're just going to round this out. Beer me Nebraska. I think beer me, I learned that from The Office. I think that's what Andy used to say on The Office. Go up and say, beer me. Well, the University of Nebraska has decided that they no longer want to... Oh, there's Dora. Oh, wow, I saw that ad. Didn't stay with Super Bowl that long. Yeah, it's crazy stuff, what you see online. I thought the Arnold Schwarzenegger Super Bowl ad was kind of funny. A little overplayed, but Selma Hayek looked great. Arnold looked great. Loved the electricity thing. It was very funny. So the University of Nebraska Board of Regents lifted the prohibition on alcohol sales at Husker athletic events on Friday. Now, UNL has been known forever to be a dry campus. And most of the Big Ten is not dry. You can buy beer. Now there's well, it's going to have to be beer in a cup, because people at football games especially get drunk, and if they're selling beer in a bottle or beer in a can, it's going to get thrown at people and at players, which I think is absolutely true. And Nebraska prides itself on being this wonderful, we love everybody, we support the other team as long as, even if they win. And that was easier to do 25 years ago. The last 20 years ago have been miserable for the Nebraska football team because all they do is lose. So this best fans in college football has been really put to the test. And I'm not sure if they've passed the test, actually. Because I know there are a lot of people out there now who are not happy. But Nebraska is a strange place. No beer. I think on Sunday you couldn't buy beer. Which they said, oh, that's the holy day, Sunday. Or maybe it was Blue Monday, I don't know. But the blue sales. which only meant that if you couldn't buy alcohol on Sunday, you had to go buy double on Saturday. I think they've rescinded that. And you couldn't buy beer in a grocery store because that was a sin, and now I believe you can buy beer but not hard liquor. And the citizens of the great state of Nebraska voted to legalize marijuana. Recreational use of marijuana in the great state of Nebraska. Super deep, hard red. It used to be more purple when I was growing up. And the governor says, no, I'm not doing it. I don't care what the people said. I'm not putting it into action. It's a sin. So the people vote. The people are heard. The people want expanded Medicare. The people voted. The people are heard. And the governor says no to marijuana and no to expanded Medicare. So a majority of Big Ten schools sell alcohol at events and beer sales at college stadiums nationwide. Now, I know Nebraska, the last 20 years, has had a very hard time. They've not been winning. They still get money, a lot of money from the Big Ten, but they want local money. And that money comes from beer. And I think that very quickly Nebraska is going to learn that they are no longer the best fans in all of college football, because there are going to be a lot of drunks in that stadium. There are now, because the kids bring in the alcohol, the other people smuggle it in, pretending it's water, and everybody finds a way to drink if they want to drink. Tom Osborne, who is a teetotaler, a religious man, never wanted beer, is against marijuana, is going to make kids sick and crazy. So Tom Osborne, a former NFL football coach and athletic director, once again voiced concerns about the proposal, saying it would change the environment on fans. So that's the world in which we live. Jim Hatt is out there in California making the big commercial money, and back home on campus, where he did graduate from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And then I went East Coast, went to Columbia, MFA. Jimmy Jam went to the West Coast, Los Angeles. Smart guy, like we did both. Used our MFA to set us up and standardize us in the industry. And Jim went to USC, University of Southern California. I believe he got a nice scholarship, as did I, to Columbia. And he graduated with his MFA, I believe, in acting at USC. And has been working as a substitute teacher and an actor ever since. Now that's how you have a career in a very difficult world. But you got to have the look. And Jim has that Midwestern look that California loves. Good for him. In Nebraska, that face and body, nothing special, because everybody looks like that on the farm. But when you have the guts to pick up your life and move to California and go to school and substitute teach and be an actor and work in an agent's office and get all the faxes so you get the first crack at all these opportunities to act, well, then you're very special. And you have a very unique look that not a lot of people have on the West Coast or even on the East Coast. That Midwestern farmer's body look. Well, it's been a fabulous show today. Dora's here, Jan Marie's here, had a wonderful conversation. If you have any questions or comments, you can find me, David, at boles.tv. That's the email. If you have a question for the Jana Marie, Jana at boles.tv. On Twitter, we are at David Boles. Our public name is boles.eth, in case you want to send us some money. On Facebook, we're just regular old Boles. Instagram, Boles Books. Boles TV on TikTok. We have a Discord server where you can join us. There's the link, the invite link. Click on that and go join our Discord server where we will have a chat. Boles.live is our video on demand site, and Boles.tv is where we live stream every day. Closed captions on the live stream and closed captions now on our video on demand. Found on YouTube. Will it be warm today? Will it be warm tomorrow? Dora says clapping. Oh, we got the, I love we have the emotes working now. We asked the Magic 8 Ball, will it be cold tomorrow? Absolutely no. There you have it. The 8 Ball never lies. So until tomorrow at 9 a.m., I thank you so much for being here. I'm David Boles. This has been Boles.tv. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you wake up tomorrow full of sunshine and joy because you deserve it. I'll see you tomorrow.